Welcome to the Frequency Control Simulator. The Restoration Frequency Control Simulator asks the user to pick up load with cold load characteristics. To start big motors at different power plants, to load these coal plants to minimum stable loading. All of this in a stressful condition, due to time constraints, while keeping the frequency within very close limits. And the power plants at the right loading at all time. The simulator checks the user's actions. And if this is not done correctly, will trip and will bring the user to start over again. There are 7 power plants on this simulator. P7 being the black start unit, which is set at 0% speed droop. All the other units are coal power plants set up at 5% speed droop. There is also a nuclear power plant, and only some motors will have to be started with it. The things the users have to check are the frequency, the loading of the units, the timing, the unit conditions and under request. To quickly go to the nuclear plant, to start the emergency motors. There are lots of feeders, with cold load characteristics. Depending the simulator level, there will be minimum loading to respect at all time, with each power plant. In this first level, after pressing on the start button, the users will have 1 minute to start the black start unit, and to bring it over its minimum loading. At each coal plant there are motors to be started before being able to produce electricity. More time the users take to start the motors, more time he will have to wait before being able to produce electricity. After finishing to start all motors of a power plant, the users have to press on start. Start, then change in heat. When the heating time come to 0, heat change in go. The users have then 1 minute to bring this power plant to its minimum loading. Let's start the process. Press on the orange start at top left. Close the breakers going to the feeders. Start a feeder, to bring the black start over its minimum operating limit. Close the breakers going to a selected power plant. I like to begin by P6. Users could choose which plant they prefer to begin with. When starting the motors, always ensure not to exceed the maximum limit of P7. If the users exceed P7 limits, frequency will go under the carpet. And then this will be a system crash, and user will have to start over again. The users are invited to press on manual calculation often to refresh the screen. In our case all motors are started, press on the green start of P6. Check, start, then change in heat. The P6 clock then reverse going towards 0. Please do not wait to be at 0. Go and start another power plant. Start all the motors of the new selected power plant. Note that the clock continue to go on for the rest of the system. Only the clock of P6 reverse. Always have an eye on P6 clock. When P6 clock changes to go, using a wheel, the users have to dispatch it to over its minimum operating limits, in less than a minute. When over its minimum operating limits, the dispatch alarm disappear. The users have to bring all power plants over their minimum operating limits. Start all the feeders, and when requested, start all the motors for the nuclear power plant. Or there will be a nuclear accident in the classroom. We hope you enjoy this presentation. There are several levels with this category. Level 1, the beginner's one, is not so easy. Then there is the expert level. And following some ultra levels only for ultra operators. And please keep your temper, this is just a simulation.